Welcome back guys to Rising Coders Era. In this video we are going to create a student grade calculator using Java, which is going to calculate the total marks, average percentage and grade for student. So let's get started to the coding part. Going to import one module, and that is going to be import java.util.scanner. So we can just take input from the input from the user. So first we are just going to take the input, and we are going to just take the subjects, how much subjects the user is going to have. If he is going to have 5 subjects or 10 subjects, so that we are just going to take. So for this, first we are going to create a main, and then inside this we are going to create an instance for scanner class. So scan is equal to new scanner, and inside this we just write system.in. Okay, so we have just created an instance for this. So let me zoom. Okay, and after this what we are going to do, enter so here I am going to make one comment, and that is going to be enter total number of subjects to calculate their marks. We are just going to create a variable, and that is going to be integer, because we are going to calculate the number of subjects. That is going to be integer number. So here I am going to write number as subjects. Okay, and is equal to scan.nextInt. So we are just going to take an integer. So for this we are just going to write scan.nextInteger. Okay, now the total marks we are just going to calculate. So before that we are going to create an integer, that is going to we are going to create a variable that is going to be named as total marks, and that is going to be 0. This is going to be update when user is going to enter the first subject mark, then second subject mark, then third subject mark. So for this the total marks should be 0. First we are initialize to 0. Okay, the for loop for integer I is equal to 1. So we are going to start with 1, and then I is going to be lesser than equal to number of subjects. Okay, so how much subjects are going to be there? It must be equal to or lesser than, not more than the subjects which he just entered. Suppose user is going to enter the 5 subjects, so it must be equal to 5. Okay, and it must start from subject number 1. Okay, so all these things we are just going to do, and here we are just going to write system.out.println enter marks for subject. Okay, I am going to write here I. So first when it is going to run this loop, so it is going to be 1, then after that it is going to be 2, 3, 4 in this way. Okay, and this marks must be out of 100. Okay, so we are going to write out of 100. So out of 100 must be entered by the user. After that we are going to take an int, and here we are just going to create a variable named marks. Okay, which is going to take this int marks is equal to scan.nextInt. Scan.nextInteger. Okay, just scan the next integer which is going to be entered by the user, and that is going to be placed inside this marks. Okay, so we just have to add it. It is going to add all these things. So for this we are going to write here total marks, which is all. You can see here total marks, which is 0, and here we are just going to update it inside the marks, so it should be added. Okay, so here is the total marks which was 0, and we are just going to update when this loop is going to run. So this is going to be plus and plus, adding all these things. So we are just going to write plus equal to marks for this to add all the marks here. Okay, so before this we are just going to check the validation, so that the marks must be below 100 and it should be not lesser than 0. So for this we are going to write here input validation. Here I am going to use the while loop, and while the marks is going to be less than 0. Okay, less than 0, or marks is going to be greater than 100. Okay, so it should display some message over here. Going to do here one problem is that we are just going to make this loop at this point. Okay, that's all. Total marks, if you just see this must be outside the while loop. Okay, now here that is going to be when this condition is going to be, we just have to print some message, and the message is going to be invalid marks, please enter marks between 0 and 100. So we are just going to write here enter marks for subject. Okay, enter marks for subject, and that is going to be +1. So when plus I, so that when it is going to be first, so it is going to run the loop and it is going to show the for subject 1, subject 2, subject 3 in this way, and that is going to be out of 100. Okay, and then we are just going to write here marks is equal to scan dot next in, again scan dot next integer, so next is going to be integer. Okay, next integer, and that's all. Now this is going to be update inside this, and plus it is going to add inside this variable, the value is going to be stored here at student result. Okay, so here system and student result. Okay, and then we are just going to show him the total marks obtained in all subjects. Okay, stored inside the variable total marks. Okay, so let's see whether our code is running fine or not at this stage. For this we are going to close our scanner class, so it must be closed here. Okay, here at this point, so scan dot close. So here we are going to give one message, and that is going to be south, and here we are going to take enter total number of subjects. Now here just I am going to write the 4 subjects, and then it is going to take me 4 times the value, so I am just going to enter 40, 40, 40, 40, and then it is going to just calculate. So 4 for the 60, 160, so it's fine over here. The next thing we are going to do here, and that is going to be calculate the average percent, divide the total marks by total number of subjects to get the average percent. So how we can just get it? What does this say when we just calculate the average percent? So you just have to divide the total marks by the total number of subjects. It's quite simple. So for this, what we are going to do, we are just going to create an integer and create a variable named average percentage. Average is equal to what we are going to write total marks. Okay, that is inside this variable, and we are just going to divide it with the number of subjects to get the average percent. So we have just create a number subjects variables. Okay, so that's all. So south, and we are just going to write here average percentage, and which is stored inside this variable, average percentage. Okay, now let's see whether this also runs or not. So here I am going to write 3 subjects, so we will give 80, 80, 80, and you can see average percentage is 80, and 80 you can just see 3 8s are 24, 240. Okay, so if you talk about average percentage, it is similar like mean. Next we are going to calculate the grade, use if else if statements for this, and when the value is going to be greater than equal to 90, we are going to give the grade A. So similarly grade B, C, D. So let's see the if condition. So when the average percentage, okay, average percentage is going to be greater and equal to 90, at this point we are just going to display one message, and the message is going to be your grade is going to be A plus. Okay, A and plus. Then next we are going to write as if the average percentage is going to be greater than equal to 80. Okay, when it is going to be at the point of 80, so we are just going to write here one more thing, and that is going to be your grade is 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, just going to create for 70, then 60, then 50, then 40, then 30, and here is going to be the else case. And in else case, this is going to be removed, capital E. So at 30, the grade is going to be D, capital D. At 40, it is going to be D plus, and at 50, it is going to be C, capital C. 60, that is going to be C plus. Okay, so C, capital C plus. Okay, so that's all. We have just written the code, and now it's time to test. And that's, so here I am going to enter 5 subjects: 50, 50, 50, 50, 40. Okay, so this was just the calculation of this, and the average percentage you can find, and this is the grade, that is D plus. Okay, so you can see 5 for the 20 and 240. So 240 you can see here, and for average percentage, that is going to be 48. Okay, so let's check one more time. We will give this time 100. Okay, we don't have 100 subjects, we have just 3 subjects. We are going to take 100, 100, 100, and you can see total marks 300, average percent 100, and your grade is A plus. Okay, so that's all. You will get the source code inside the description, and you can just move to my GitHub account and you will get this source code, and that's all about this. So we have just created take input from out of 100, we have just created this one: calculate total marks, sum of the marks obtained in each subjects, calculate average percentage, divide the total marks. So we have just completed this. Assign grades based on the average percentage achieved. Show total marks, we have shown it. Average percentage, we have just shown the average percentage also, and the corresponding grades to the user. So this was the problem statement which we solved inside this lecture.